Good morning, everyone.
Happy 2-year anniversary to Sarah.
I just mentioned we do have the AX17. It has a whole bunch of different features. There's some different stuff about it, and I thought, what better way to share it than a video? So look for that. Keep an eye on that. There it is right there.
That could be cool on today's job. Yeah. You can try those out. We've got a 661 C, and so that means it's M-tronic. And same on the 500i, except this is fuel injected. I really like getting low stump cuts too, so the advantage is you can be cut closer to the ground.
Yeah.
And then
And it fits in the bucket better.
Yeah, it's like smoother contours. What do you think about pulling the screens?
Yeah, I'll do that if you want.
Tools. Ryan, why do we take the park resters out?
I just feel like more power.
That's right. Yeah.
Just I feel like
Engines love to breathe.
Yeah. That's a spark rest screen. Just opens it up. If you look in here, like in the actual side.
Yeah, we're taking screens out.
I love that smell.
Right on, come on.
Hi, I'm Peter. I've been here for 2.5 years. You can see back there we got a Deodar that I didn't see myself, but from what I hear, it died pretty quickly. So, you know, we're taking it out before it becomes a significant hazard. It did have a few hanging branches that were already hazardous, so good reason to get a jump on that. And yeah, so me and Ryan are both going to be going up in bucket trucks today and attacking it from both sides. Basically, the game plan is just to bring it down to stem wood and then determine with the homeowners where we want to leave a habitat snag, which is basically when you leave a part of the stem to simulate as if the tree had cracked and fallen over on its own. And you know, after we make a flat cut, Ryan will probably carve it up all nice, make it look pretty, make it look like a real break, so it can simulate a natural environment. And that's probably going to be somewhere around 20 feet. It sounds like the homeowners want it pretty high. So, you know, after we get it down to that top union where all the tops are coming out of, we'll kind of determine with them exactly where it needs to be. At the same time, we have a working interview, Kyle, who I believe he's done wildland firefighting, and so he's taking care of the laurels down below and just getting those cleared away before we really get to the significant portion of the work today. And yeah, that's basically the game plan. Nothing too complicated, just kind of brushing this thing out and determining where they want the snag.
Oh, that's wild. The new 66s have the stay nuts. That's cool. So those nuts usually would come all the way off. Like you would be able to lose them. Usually they would fly off into no man's land, and then it becomes a game of hide and go seek. Taking the bar off, I'm gonna gas and oil it. It'll never be this clean again, but I'm gonna make sure the oiler is running. Like I'm gonna gas oil it and start it and give it the vroom vroom so that comes out, because I don't want it chain on chain. We're gonna do that with both the saws. I think I'm gonna need a little more oil.
Is it fine to run it without the faceplate on it?
Yeah, we're just gonna make sure we're gonna put the oil, make sure the oiler's running. That way when we start using them,
Yeah.
sometimes they won't oil right away and they got just chain on chain running.
More than 100 years ago, in a mountain village in Switzerland, lived a man whose strange experiments have since become a legend.
It's alive!
The chain runs across that?
Yeah, this basically spews into here.
Okay.
And you can tell, like, if your oil's not working, this will become really dry looking. It's like very apparent. You're like, oh wow, something's wrong.
But it turns out that the like anti-vibration
The vibe
suspension
mounts?
is just so good that it wiggles around a lot.
Have you ever used the 44044? They have like super vibe mounts kind of like that, and it's just like, they'll feel broken because it's so wiggly. It's pretty,
like the whole head kind of moves.
yeah. They West Coast Saws makes vibe mounts that are like stronger, like it'll firm up your vibe mount. Think it'll do. That'll breeze you out. Having a case of the Mondays. I put my chain on backwards. A case of the Mondays.
I'm Sarah. I've been with Seattle Tree Care for about 2 years now. I'm a crew lead at the company. I'm a certified arborist. I have my tree risk assessment qualification. I have a CDO. I do plant health care. I have a bunch of TCIA certifications and a lot more that I can't even remember.
She's the most decorated individual at Seattle Tree Care.
That's true. I got into tree work because I was into rock climbing and skiing and outdoor stuff, and I just love nature and love trees. And I thought that climbing trees would be the best job you could have. So today we're working on 4 pear trees. They're younger trees, and they were planted too deeply. And they also have a wire cage around them with a plastic bottom. And normally when you plant trees, you should not leave that stuff on there. So it's pretty detrimental to them. And it's really impeded their establishment. When we first saw these trees, you could see the wire sticking up, and you can also see the tree still moving. And at this point, they should have roots that are anchoring them into the ground. So that's bad. So we knew that we need to do some investigating. So we brought out our Airspade today. And we're using that because if we would just get a shovel and start digging, we could really damage those roots. And so we don't want to do that. So we're using the Airspade. We can blow that soil away, and then we can see what we're working with. Another problem we're encountering is the soil is very compacted and hard. And so that's gonna make it harder for the roots to establish. And so with Airspade, we can really break up that soil, and that's going to be better for the tree to establish those roots that it needs in the future. So on this tree, we've already cut the wire basket that was surrounding it. And you can kind of see how the roots are circling around. Here's a part of the wire right here, still sticking out. But yeah, so these circling roots are really bad because if you look right here, this is a girdling. This is going to be a real problem in the future, but it's a girdling root. You can see how it's already indenting right there on this bigger root. So we don't want that. So as we go through, we'll selectively prune some of these roots, try and straighten them out to encourage growth, not in a circular pattern. But yeah, you can see this one's moving too, and it has that plastic on the bottom. So we're gonna have to use the Airspade a little bit more to excavate it and hopefully get that plastic piece out. So I found the plastic.
Oh yeah?
And it is way down here.
Here, pull another ring of wire.
Yeah, let's get the wire cutter. Try to do this without damaging the roots.
Right, it's hard.
Okay, let me grab the pruning tools. So let's see, this would be a good one too, Keaton, to cut and see if you can, yeah, it's coming over that other one, to see if you could encourage that one to go straight, like I would cut it there. Maybe if you can cut some more out, but just to try not to damage the stuff that actually is going.
Yeah. Awesome that Andrea left this little saw for us.
I know, that was nice of her.
Fits in better than the Zubas. Is that what they're called, Zuba? The silky Zuba?
Oh.
I don't know if it was a soft tea or a hard tea. Moy called it Zuba. Which I really like. That sounds like Zuba Zuba.
We just make sure the soil's not compacted. We put the post back in, and then we'll stake it. Like this one's leaning because it doesn't have roots over there. So we'll stake this one back up, and then we'll fill it back in.
So this is how much we've pulled out of the trees so far. These are wire baskets that they probably were bought in. Like a little plastic sheet to hold the root ball and dirt in. Also was left in there. So kind of a challenge to get all of that out.
I'm George, and I've been here at Seattle Tree Care since about, I think 2006. I was younger then. And I used to work in the field, and as you get older and the young guys start to overtake you, and you get slower, then you get to fix things for the younger guys. And so now I do a lot of maintenance. Sometimes you miss being out there, but you realize that you're getting older, and a lot of it is a younger man's game.
So we went out to the job yesterday and figured out that we had a leaky hose.
Figured out what the problem with the chipper was. Unfortunately, it's a hose that goes down to the lower feed rollers, and I'll be fixing that one tomorrow.
It was for this fitting right here. It controls the driver's side hydraulic motor for the feed rollers going into forward direction. So in reverse, it won't leak. When it pressurizes going forward, just had a little jet of hydraulic oil coming out right about there. So went and got a new hose made. Gonna have my beautiful assistant here, George. He's gonna pull on a string that I have attached to the other end of this, and we're gonna try and pay it through, because it takes a pretty bad route along the bottom of the machine and then up to this feed arm right there. So it gets a little bit awkward.
Hey, I think that's about it.
My name's Kyle. I'm a sawyer. I was over in Montana on the Garceau fire. I was cutting trees. As a sawyer, you cut line for the crew. And I go through, I cut trees and brush in usually about a 10-foot swath. And we throw the brush off to the side of the line and pile it. Basically clear a path for everyone else behind you. It kind of translates here. Like I took out a laurel bush, and it's the same thing as cutting line. You go through, you cut at the intersections, you punch it up, and you throw it over the side.
About to make the first cut with this saw. 36-inch bar. It'll never be this clean again. Here we go.
Yeah, well, I bought that chunk of property about 15 extra feet to the north of the property 2 years ago off the developer that's putting up the house to the north of us. It included that tree that's coming down in the purchase. It was one of the reasons that I've felt inclined to do that, to spend the money, is to save it in that whole development process. And then over the course, I think the drought and apparently some blight that these cedars are getting in Seattle, combined with the disturbance from the development, a little under a year ago started showing some signs of coming apart. And I mean, I'd be happy to let it just fall down and rot right there if it wasn't an issue with safety in the city. So I forget exactly how we found Seattle Tree Care, but they've been great. I talked to them for months about this. They're doing the work right now, as you can hear, and the team here right now, we're so far pretty happy with it. They seem like they're listening to our input, which is awesome. And the yard is going to look and feel way different with that laurel. I'm sure you got it in the frame there. There was a huge green wall there that was pretty cool, but they're leaving enough of the laurel that we have some privacy to the house next to us, but then opening up a chunk that we got a view down the street and just making the yard feel a lot bigger.
My name is Randy, or Ryan, whatever people want to call me, really, honestly. I'm working here at Seattle Tree Care today. I'm taking down a Deodar cedar. It was alive probably about a year ago. It's just had no needles left on it, so we took it down and made a habitat pole. And awesome 2 buckets, made it easy. And then Peter came in here with his grapple, which is just, machinery is nice. But we left it habitat snag, probably about, what would you say, that's 25 feet tall? If you had to, yeah. And then we did a coronet cut on it, make it look natural as we can per customer's request. And that's, we call that a day.
How long have you been doing this?
I've been probably about 16, 17 years coming up on. I work with Guilty or Tube Salad, whatever you want to call him. We call each other and we hang out, but it's a good time. And he kind of got me in here. Someone had hurt themselves at Seattle Tree Care, and then they called Jake, and Jake was busy, so he passed the buck to me. And
I fell off my bicycle going too fast around a corner, and my tire slipped out, and then I came over on the side and smashed my arm.
That's funny you call it Tube Salad. That's great, dude.
We got a request for an estimate. Hey, how's it going? You Janet? Hi Janet, I'm Cliff. What I'm really looking for is like big dead branches, but this tree's been really pruned out in the past. This is the one with the verticillium?
Yes.
Okay, that's what I'm assuming. I could see that it's got much less canopy than this one, so.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
From this, I'll take some pictures and some notes and we'll create a proposal, email it off to the client, and then they can either approve it or get back to us with some questions.
Okay.
Yep, so that's kind of the deal. Just keep an eye out for a proposal on your email.
Okay. Because it has been sick for probably 10 years. We've been told that it was sick, and so we've been treating it with various treatments and remove the dirt off the roots, and nothing's working. It's in the soil, so it can't be changed, can't be reversed. So and this last year was its worst year. It barely had any leaves on it, so we just decided to take it through the holidays, and then
one last Christmas for it.
One last Christmas. My daughters are coming home, they'll see it, and then